I'm going to show you how to do the wrong thing the right way. Now, a lot of folks have in their tool arsenal a pair of these big cutters, pliers, and they've got a little crimper here for doing crimps on house wiring. It's normally for a ground, whatever they call those barrels that connect all the grounds together in the junction boxes and stuff. That's what that crimper is really for. Now what I've done here is put a piece of baling wire around the bottom side such that the anvil will land on that and provide a really good crimp, believe it or not. This is not the right way. Let's be clear. This is not the right way to do this crimp. But you know what? It's a lot more righter than these things. These things are trash. So this is not the professional way. Not at all. But man, does it work pretty good. So what I will do in this situation is I'm going to go ahead and put my barrel right in there. Line it up with, oh boy, sons of God, bless it, fucking, bless it. Let's try this again, shall we? See if we can, it's difficult to do this while filming, but what the hell. Okay, so I've got this Dumafachi right on there, and I've tried to center it up good. God bless it all. Try and center it up good, and here, we've got it sort of pinched in there. Hopefully this thing will focus. So that's how we've got our barrel installed in there. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and give her a crimp. Squeeze down nice and good. And then, again, like I repeat, this is not the professional way. But what we have is a crimp that is super strong and definitely will not allow these babies to pull out of there. This is a nice, strong crimp. I'm not messing around. So is it professional? No. Is it going to work just fine? Absolutely. So now we've got our other wire, but what we'll notice is that while this connector is the right size for 2 of these wires to go in, it is definitely undersized for just 1 wire all by its lonesome. Now what you can do, and this is a real tip for everybody, is this is actually, even in the airline mechanic industry, this is a real approved method for airplanes. So this should work on your car. What you can actually do, fully legitimately, is take this wire and bend it in half over onto itself again. So I'll show you what I mean. So what you can do is take it about in half like that and fold it over onto itself. Focus. So that you end up with a wire that is essentially double the thickness of its original self. And now what you can do is this wire is essentially now just the right size to go into that connector and crimp up real good. So now that we did that, we can go ahead, stick it in there, grab our crimpers again, our makeshift little crimpers here, and give that a squeeze. And what we've got is the same thing where this crimp is not professional, but man, is it pretty good. Check it out. So that's what we ended up with out of that. And I can't tell you how many times better this crimp is going to work than if you did it with these godforsaken crimpers. Terrible. And just imagine if you did it with these shipbox crimpers and these shipbox connectors. How's that joint going to turn out compared to this one? Like shit. Now that you did that, you can take, if you're not going to solder it, you can take a piece of your heat shrink, which I also order on Amazon and eBay. It's cheap there, you get a bunch of it. Now, you can slide this piece of heat shrink over your damn connection there and shrink that baby down, and that's pretty good. That's legit. That's not going anywhere, even though you don't get to really call it professional because you did some hack method of crimping it. What are you gonna do? It's really not bad though. Okay, so what I do on all of mine, and this is where it gets controversial, crimp or solder or both. For me, I crimp and solder basically everything. Going back to the airplane building industry, they have methods in planes that are just crimp, that are just solder, and some of them are soldered and crimped. So you be the judge. You ask me. I like the mechanical application of the crimp, but then I like mostly the anti-corrosion of the solder joint. Some people will tell you that the solder's gonna get brittle and crack and you'll break your wires and stuff. I guess it could happen. The likelihood though seems wildly slim, especially in an application like this where maybe you have a splice here in this bundle and there's not a lot of movement there. It's not gonna, nothing bad's gonna happen. Just believe that. That's just the bottom line. So in this case, I'll also use my crimpers. This is another hack little trick that you can do if you'd like. Is I like to set my wire here on this gap of my little pliers, and then take my trusty old soldering iron. Get those stupid crimpers out of here. Get out of here, stupid crimpers. Pieces of trash. You too, trash connectors. Nobody likes you. Okay, we'll get this baby roasted up. We'll get it roasting. We'll check back when it's actually roasting. We just got to get this hot enough to melt the solder. Your soldering iron is going to determine how long this really takes. Mine's kind of wimpy, so it takes kind of a while. If yours is stronger, it's probably not going to take so long, but if yours is not as strong, you might have some difficulties. But what I do, I heat it up here right next to that window, which hopefully you can still see. Let's see, maybe just a skosh. Nice. So I put it right next to that window because what I want to do is get the barrel hot enough to where the solder will start melting and the solder will flow into both sides of the barrel from that window. I dabble just a little bit in there to kind of get it heated up and flowing, and then I put, I don't know, approximately that much in there, and then you can just barely see that is a plenty. It looks like it's all piled up on the top here. I guarantee it's not. It's actually all the way in here. You can just barely kind of see some of that coming out on the wire side. Hard to see on camera, but nonetheless. So now, with that, so now I've got this crimped and soldered joint that again is 100% not professional, but man, is it fucking good. That joint like literally has no problems. In fact, just for fun, let's try to pull it apart. Okay, we're gonna try to pull this crimped and soldered joint apart. I've never done this before. I'm curious to see what happens. So let's get her right about there. Get that baby right about there. Oh boy. Yeah, look at that. It actually broke the wire. In order for me to get that joint apart, I had to break the wire. The joint itself did not fail. Now, could you imagine what would happen if I did that test with that stupid sleeved blue connector? This piece of crap. This total garbage. And these trash monsters. Good lord. Put on the fucking blue spot here. Let's give it a crimp. Professional. High quality garbage.